Welcome to Hossy's Kitchen. Today we've got something different for you. We're going to make a cocktail, and the cocktail's a margarita. And I tried a bunch of different recipes. I watched a bunch of different YouTube videos, tried a couple of varieties down in Mexico, and what I have tonight is my favorite. I think you're going to love it. If you find my videos helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And to celebrate a cocktail, I'm wearing my cocktail party shirt, my pink Dixon. So anyway, let's get started, and here's what you need. First, the 4 ingredients you're going to need are tequila. I have found for bang for the buck price-wise, Hornitos Reposado makes a really good margarita. And I like the Reposado rather than the white one, the Blanco. Fresh lime juice is always better, but if you don't want to squeeze them or if you can't find limes, this Santa Cruz lime juice is excellent. And if you can't find it at your market, there's a link below. They sell it on Amazon. The next thing you need is blue agave syrup. If you can only find blue agave nectar, you can use that as well. But the syrup I found is a little bit sweeter, and I like it more. And then the last thing is the orange liqueur. I tried triple sec, orange curacao, Cointreau, and Grand Marnier. And by far, I preferred the margarita with Grand Marnier. And this is kind of a Cadillac margarita recipe. And my friend calls it a Hossarita. So anyway, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is prep a few things. We're going to cut a lime. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the end off of a lime, and I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to use that to wet the rim of the glass so then we can salt it if you want salt on your margarita. I'm going to cut one more, and that's going to be a nice, thin lime circle, and that's going to be our garnish. You'll see that later. So we're going to set that aside. Now I'm going to salt the rim. You don't have to have salt on your rim, but if you want it, here's a really cool way to do it, I think. So take the end you cut off and just go around half of the glass, like that. And then I've got a plate with some kosher salt on it, and we're just going to rub that half in like that. So now, as you can see, only half of your glass gets salted. So you don't have to have salt on every sip. I like that, and I think it looks pretty. So next thing we need is some ice. So I have an identical glass. I'm going to measure out this full glass worth of ice, and we're going to head over to the ice machine. I'll meet you over there. Here we are. We're at my bar, and I want to introduce you to someone. Here's Lemmy. Say hi, Lemmy. And there's a little bottle of Jack Daniels and my Lemmy Motorhead bourbon. So anyway, let's move on to the ice. Here is something that is great for parties. It makes our lives easier, and I think it's awesome. And it's a nugget ice maker. You know how when you go to Sonic or Chick-fil-A and you get your soda, and it has that really good crunchy nugget ice? Well, you can buy a nugget ice maker. And this is the GE Profile nugget ice maker that we got. And I also bought the side unit. And it makes a bunch of ice. It's great for parties, and it's super fun. And it makes really nice cocktails. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take our second glass. I'm going to fill it up with ice so I got just the right amount. We're going to head on back and make our cocktail. Now let's make our margarita. But before I get started, I am not a professional bartender, just so you know. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Excuse the pun. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is take the ice that I measured in this glass and pour it in my cocktail shaker. Then I have to measure my ingredients. And I love this thing. And I've told other people about it, and they all buy it. It's made by OXO. You can buy it on Amazon. There's a link below. And it's got all these lines in here, 1 ounce, half ounce, 2 ounce. So you can measure out the exact amount of liquor or any kind of liquid that you want. So this is what I'm going to use. So here's the recipe. It's 2 ounces of the Hornitos Reposado Tequila. And I'm going to pour that in a pint glass. Then it's 1 ounce of lime juice, either fresh squeezed or the Santa Cruz is really good too. 1 ounce. Now it's 3/4 of an ounce of agave syrup. 3/4 of an ounce. And a half ounce of the Grand Marnier. Okay? Now, this is the fun part. If you watch in bars, if you go get a cocktail, they use a pint glass and they use a cocktail shaker. I'm going to pour the mixture in there, slam that down in there. I'm going to give it 15 shakes. And you got to have a little rhythm to it, too. 15. Then you give it a little slam, or a little bit more of a slam. You pull your pint glass out, and it's ready to pour. I pour it right in the glass, and I pour it in the edge opposite from the salt, so I don't disturb the salt. Perfectly measured. Then I take my lime wheel, and I'll show you this from the top as well. I lay that right on top, and here you have a delicious margarita. And we'll show you a top view as well. Here's what the margarita looks like from on top. You can see the salted rim. You can see how pretty that little lime circle looks in there as well. Now I'm going to take a little sip here. It's Friday night. It's perfect. I think you'll love it. Give it a try. We'll see you next time on Hossy's Kitchen.